Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to talk about how to create a view in Snowflake. Here is the today's agenda as part of how to create a view. We'll, we'll see view syntax, what are the required parameters to create a view, what are all the optional parameters to create a view, and what are the usage nodes. What are the things we need to keep remember while creating the views in Snowflake, and finally we'll see the demo with examples. Create a view creates a new view in the current or specified schema based on query of one or more existing tables or any other valid query expression. To create a view in Snowflake, we have to use the create view DDL. With this DDL, we are going to create a view in the current or specific schema based on a query. That query could be a one or more existing tables. If you don't want to use, you can use the valid query expressions like select one, select two plus three, like that. Also, you can use the query expression to create a view. Now we'll see the syntax. This is the syntax. Create is mandatory. Create or replace. Secure, recursive. If you want to create a normal view, we need to specify secure or recursive. If you want to create a secure view, just you have to specify the secure keyword. If you want to create a recursive view, then we have to use the recursive clause as part of the create or replace view syntax. And this is if not exist, it will create name. This is the name mandatory parameter where we have to provide the name. And what are the column list? Okay, this is the column list. After that, you can specify the masking policy to on a column, and then along with the masking policy you can specify the tag also. And then you can also specify the access policy, row access policy, which is a new feature. Row access policy, you can attach this row access policy to the view or even table also. This is the one. And tag, you can attach the tag. After that, copy grants, comment, and this is the mandatory select statement. It's a valid SQL select statement by using one or more tables or any valid query expression. This is the syntax to create a view in Snowflake. Now we'll see one by one. Please note that I am not going to, as part of the demo, I'm not going to show you the what is the masking policy, how to apply the masking policy, row access policy, and tag. I will talk about, or I will make a separate video on this. I already uploaded one video regarding the masking policy. If you want, you can watch how we are going to implement the masking policy in Snowflake. Let's see required parameters. First one is the name. This is the first parameter. This is the required parameters. We have only two parameters. One is the one of that name. Specifies the identifier for the view. Must be unique for the schema in which view is created. So in each schema wise, the name is unique, and you have to specify the identifier. Identifier is nothing but here, if you see, in addition to the identifier must start with the alphabetic character and cannot contain spaces or special characters unless the entire identifier string is enclosed in double quotes, like this. For example, if you see this one, so your identifier must start with the alphabetic character and cannot contain any spaces or special characters. If you want to create a view with special characters or space, then you have to keep your view name or identifier in enclosed in double quotes. So please note that the moment when you keep your object name inside the double quotes, that identifier enclosed in double quotes are also case sensitive. So this view will become a case sensitive. Now second one is the select statement is the another mandatory or required parameters to create a view. So specify the query used to create the view. So you have to specify, we have to prepare the query from one or more tables or valid query expression. Can be one or more source tables or any other valid SQL statement. As I said that, okay, the query, you can create this query or form the query one or more source tables or any other valid SQL or a valid select statement. This query serves as the text or definition for the view and is displayed in the show views output and the views information schema view. So whatever you are going to attach the as your select statement, that select statement you can see text or a definition when you execute the show views, or views is the another view. This is the metadata view which is present in the information underscore schema Snowflake schema. That's all. Now we will see the optional parameters. The first one is the secure. Suppose if you want to create a view, secure view, then you have to use this optional secure keyword along with your DDL. So specifies that view is secure. Default no value. That means view is a not secure. The other one is the recursive view. If you want to create a recursive view, then you have to use the recursive keyword as part of your DDL. Specify that view can refer to itself using recursive syntax without necessarily using a CTE. CTE is nothing but here common table expression. Like with class, you have to use the with class. How to prepare your select statement with, using the with class, and then use that one as part of your view. That is not, we will not call as a view, that is called normal view. That view with CTE. If you don't want to CTE, then you can directly use the recursive keyword along with your view creation. Default no value. Okay, so view is not recursive, that means it's a normal view. The next optional parameter, column list. If you want to change the name of a column or add a comment to be column in the new view, include a column list that specify the column names and comments about the column. Basically, suppose in a department, take example, you are going to create a view on the department table. In the department table, one of the column is the LOC. Okay, while creating that view, you don't want the LOC, you want to location. Okay, complete name. In that case, you have to specify the column list. Any of the columns in the view are based on the expressions, not just simple column names. Then you must supply a column name for each column in the view. For example, you want to create a view by using the department and employee table to calculate the average salary by department wise. So that is the calculate value. In that case, you have to give the name. So that name will be included as part of your definition or structure. Comments are particularly helpful when column names are cryptic. Sometimes, in the source systems, you assume that your source system is the SAP. In SAP, most of the tables and column names are cryptic, like ABC, XYZ, some like that. It's a alpha 4 or 6 characters alpha. Okay, there is no meaning by saying that table or column name. In that case, it would be better to add the comments for that view or columns, so that while retrieving that, you will come to know that this view is created for this purpose. The next optional parameters, one is the masking policy. This masking policy will be created by two options. One is the dynamic, another one is the external functions. So I already created and uploaded one video, dynamic masking, how to apply the dynamic masking to view or a table. So you please watch that one. In this video, I am not going to show you the demo on this one. Specify the masking policy to set in a column. Say, for example, if you have any sensitive data in your table, and while creating the view, you are going to hide that only partially you want to show the partially or something like that, then you can apply the column level masking. And the other one is the row access policy. This is the new concept which Snowflake introduced a few months ago. uh, Actually, say example, in a view you have a department number 10, 20, 30, 40. So while creating that view, you want to apply the row access policy based on your role. Say example, department 10 belong one employee, uh, guy or employee belongs to 10. Whoever having that role can see only department number 10, the other role department underscore 20, so that guy can see the only related rows department 20. Like that, if you want to apply, then it's a kind of a filter. Okay, specify the row access policy to set in a view. And tag, this is also new feature added recently. So I will make a separate video how to create a tag, what is the tag, where exactly we will use this tag. Specify the tag name and the tag value. What is the tag name and what is the tag value to any object? Here object is a view, the tag value is always a string. So when you are going to create a tag value, that always is a string, and maximum number of characters for the tag value is 256 as of now, that is the 256. And also the maximum number of tags that can be set on an object is 20. See, for each object, suppose you have a one view, for that view you want to go, you are going to create a tags. Okay, you can create maximum 20 tags to a particular object. The next, copy grants, which is very important. The optional parameter retains the access permissions from original view when a new view is created using the or replace clause. See, generally, very first time you are going to create a view, just you can create view name as select star from your query. That is the view. After that, if there is any change, then you cannot create a view without or replace. So for that, create or replace. In that case, what will happen? Create or replace means replace, it will drop the view and create the new view with the same name. In that case, what will happen? You may lose the or permissions also automatically removed. So you, if you want to retain that grants, then you have to use the copy grants clause along with your view definition. So this copy grants you can use for table, you can use the table or any other objects like function, procedure, like that. The parameter, this parameter copy grants parameter copies all privileges except ownership from the existing view to the new view. See, why the ownership? Ownership, who will have the ownership role? The owner of that view only. That's why by default it will come in here. The new view does not inherit any future grants defined for the object type in the schema. Suppose if you use the copy grants, then if you have a, if you apply the future grants on that view, so that will not applicable in this case. If the parameter is not included in the create view statement, suppose if you not include this parameter, copy grants parameter, then the new view does not inherit any explicit access privileges granted on the original view, but does inherit any future grants defined for the object type in the schema. Please note that this original is nothing but when you are going to recreate the view, that means retain the privileges. So retain the privileges you cannot get it when you don't use the copy grants. But future, there is a one concept in Snowflake, I will explain later in another video, what is the future grants. So those future grants will inherit to the your view if you don't use the copy grants parameter. Default no value, so grants are not copied. Suppose you have a view already created and you have given select privileges to another role, and then again there is some change in the that view, so you are going to replace without copy grants. In that case, what it will drop the existing select privilege which has been given to some other role. That is the default no value. So grants are not copied. Now we will see the usage notes. So a view definition can include an order by class. Okay, please note that while creating that view, we can use the order by class. Like when you do select data from your query, we will include the order by class to sort the data. In similar way, while creating the view itself also, we can include the order by class. Okay, like this. But this is not a good practice to include the order by class as part of the view definition. If you want, you can use the order by class while retrieving data from that view. Why? Because suppose if you are going to use the any view as part of another query by joining the data with the another table, then that time we no need to do the sort, correct, order by. So if you include this order by class as part of the view definition, then this unnecessary sorting is going to happen, which is a query performance related issue. So unnecessarily we don't require the order by class when you are going to use the, as part of the joining the data between one or more tables. So if you are going to retrieve the data from this view only, okay, fine. But ideally you don't, so Snowflake recommends don't use the order by class as part of your view definition. A view definition are not dynamic. That means, let me explain with them. So a view is not automatically updated if the underlying source are modified such that they no longer match the view definition, particularly when columns are dropped. So what is the not dynamic? Suppose you have created a view by using the department table. Department table having three columns. So if you drop one of the column from the table, then your view will get invalid. That is, it will not automatically or dynamically update those deleted column as part of the view definition. Okay, let's see with a view is created referencing a specific column in the source table and the column is subsequently dropped from the table. This is the which I explained. When you do like this, then your view will become a invalid or you'll get the error. A view is created using select star from table and any column is subsequently dropped from the table. So this is the also one of the instead of specifying the all the columns while creating the view, you can also use the select star from. In that case also, if you drop one of the column from that table, your view is going to become a invalid. And another case, if you see, this is the usage net. If a source table for view is dropped, querying the view returns an object does not exist error. So this is the one of the important thing. The next usage note: a schema cannot contain a table and view with the same name. A create view statement produces an error if the table with the same name already exists in the schema. Suppose if you already have a department table and you are going to create a view with the name as your table name DEPT in the same schema, then you are going to get the error. Using R replace is the equivalent of using drop view on the existing view and then creating a new view with the same name. So if you use the or replace, create or replace view you name, that means already if you are going to change the existing view, you have to have use the or replace. In that case, what is going to happen actually inside the Snowflake, it will first execute the draft view and then it will create the new view with the same name only. When you create a view and then grant privileges on that view to the role, the role can use the view even if role doesn't have privileges on underlying tables that view access. For example, you have a table department table and there are no grants okay on the table and you created a view in the by using the department table and that view you are going to give the select privilege to another role. So you are going to give only view only, not required on the table. That is the what this point is telling. By design, show views command doesn't provide information about secure views. Please note that when you create a secure views, when you use the show views command, it doesn't provide the information about secure views. Okay, that is one thing. And another thing, to view the information about secure view, you must use the views view in the information schema, and you must use the role that owns the view. So you have to use the select star from information underscore schema dot views, where view name equal to your secure view name. And you want to see that information, you should be, you know, definition. If you want to see the definition, you are the owner. Okay, owner only can see, other than owner cannot see. A recursive view must provide a column name list. As I said that, column list is the optional parameter when you are going to create a normal view. But if you are going to create a recursive view, then you have to provide the column name list as part of your create recursive view. When defining recursive view, prevent infinite recursion. See, generally recursion means sometimes what it will happen, it will call same program within the same, okay, and it will go into the infinite loop. To avoid that one, the where clause in the recursive view definition should enable the recursion to stop eventually, typically by running out of data after processing the last level of a hierarchy of data. So last level of, after the reaching to last level of hierarchy, then we have to use the where condition, okay, as part of your recursive view, so that we can avoid the running out of data. Snowflake accepts the force keyword but doesn't support it. What does it mean? Snowflake accepts the force keyword. You can use the force keyword while creating the view, but whatever you are going to use the as part of a table in the select statement, that table has to present. In other databases like Oracle, even if source table is not there, also by using the force keyword you can create a view. However, while accessing the while retrieving the data from that view, you are going to get the error even in Oracle. Here, while creating the view by using the force, when you don't have a table, source table, by that time itself you will get the error. In other words, you don't get a syntax error if you use the keyword. Okay, in other words, you don't get a syntax error if you use this keyword. You don't get any syntax error even if you use the force. But using the force doesn't force the creation of view if the underlying database object, I mean object could be a table or view. You can create a view by using another view, do not already exist. So even if you use the force keyword, and if you along with the force keyword, if you use the any object which is not already exist in your database, then you are going to get the error. Attempting to create a view of non-existing table or view result in an error message even if the force keyword is used. That is what I explained. Now let's see demo with examples. Current session. Here I am using the account admin is the role, database is the demo DB, schema is public. To create a view, let me create a table first, department with 3 column names, and I am going to insert the 4 rows to department table. Number of rows inserted 4. Now as I showed in the PPT, here is the syntax to create a view. Now what I am going to do, create a view in the current schema with a comment that select all the rows from a table. This is the option. I mean, to create a view, create view, view name, comment. What is the purpose of this view? Or as select, here I am not going to use the star, instead of that all column names, DPT dname location. Okay, now let me create view dept underscore vw successfully created. Now if you want to see the information, metadata information about this view, you just use the show views command. So it will displays all the views which are present in the current schema, because I have already set the context info. You can get the account level or database level also views. So here, if you want to get the particular, you don't remember the name and you know the some part of the name, then you can use the like along with the show views to get the list of views. Okay, here we have only one view in the schema. Now if you know exact name along with the show views, you can get that view, particular view only. This is the okay. And this view we have a comment, and there is a text. As I said that, I mean, you can see the information, view definition, select statement or expression, valid query expression, that you will see the under text. This is the whatever we have seen, that a syntax to create view. So if you want to get the DDL of that view, by using the get underscore DDL, you have to pass the view and view name, and this is the true to get the fully qualified name. Okay, this is the what you have. If you see here, the database name, schema name, like that. Okay, now what I am going to do, next example is the same as the previous example, except view is secure. Now I am going to create a secure view. To create a secure view, we have to use the secure class as part of your DDL. So create or replace secure view department underscore SV comment. We can use the comment also. Everything is as it is. Let me create view. Okay. So view debit underscore SV successfully created. Now what I am going to do, let me use the same these three commands again. So views, now we have a 12 views. These are other. So now we have a secure view and this. Okay. Now what I am going to do, DEPT, let me check with the DEPT. DEPT we have two views only. One is the normal view, another one is the secure view. So here secure view, how you are differentiate that secure, whether it is normal view or secure view, you can see this one is secure equal to true. That means this is a secure view. This is the normal view because false is there. Okay, this is not a materialized view. So that is the one thing. And if you use the source view particular view, then this is a different case. Now if you want to see the information from the information underscore schema dot views is the metadata view, you can also get the same information from this metadata table also. So here view name, view definition, but this is the column name is here view definition. Along with the show command, we have a text. Check option is secure, yes or no is there. Okay, and comment is the last column, created and last created. Now we will see the following shows two ways of creating recursive view. We'll see the recursive, how we are going to create a recursive view. The first option is without using the recursive key class as part of our view definition, and second one we will see the we will use the recursive keyword as part of view definition. So to create a recursive view, what I am going to do, I am going to create a employee table, because when we are going to use the recursive, so to establish the parential relationship between like that logic, then we will go for the recursive views. So that is the one of the option to go with the recursive views. So here I am going to insert the 6 rows. One is the president. President is the has no president, has no manager, and another vice president engineering from the department engineering. We have a one president. He is reporting to president, and under his there are two more employees, programmer and QA engineer. These two employees are reporting to vice president engineering, and another employee vice president HR from the HR department, he is reporting to president directly, and under his there is a one more employee, health insurance analyst. He is going to report to vice president HR. So now let me insert the data. So number of rows inserted, 6 rows. Now what I am going to do, I am going to create a recursive CTE, okay, view with the recursive. So create or replace view. Here I am not going to use the recursive keyword. Forget about what is the logic. I will show you the output, then you will come to know what actually it will do. So here I am using the with class. With class, before with I am using the recursive, so that you can use this name inside this view itself. Okay, so employee underscore hierarchy underscore CTE. See, if you use the recursive, you have to specify the column names here, column list, and this is the where class to stop the top, I mean hierarchy. Okay, last hierarchy, and then I mean without running infinite loop. That is the one thing. And after that, we are going to use the union all. By using union all, we are joining employee with recursive CTE. Okay, now let me create this one. Yeah, created. Now I'm going to show you the data from that view. Here, if you see, president, manager, president himself only. Vice president, engineering is going to report to president, and vice president HR also is going to report president, and programmer and QA engineer are going to report to vice president engineering, and another health insurance analyst employee is going to report vice president. This is the what we have achieved by using this view with a recursive. Now what I am going to do, create a view using the keyword recursive and then run query the view. So create or replace recursive view. You have to use the recursive view class as part of your definition. Here I am going to create underscore 2, and everything is same. No need to use the with class. Instead of with, you can just directly write the your start the top of the hierarchy and then work our own down the level at a time. Okay, this is the same, everything is same. Now let me create this recursive view. Okay, employee hierarchy underscore 02 successfully created. So now let me see the data from this recursive view. The output would be same as CTE recursive. Okay, same 6 rows. That is how we are going to create a recursive. Now what I am going to show you, a view definition can include an order by class. Okay, so for that, create or replace view name as select all the columns from department table order by, if you say order by, yeah, DESC. Let me put this here. So we can create, nowhere there is no problem at all. Only when you are going to use this view as part of another query to join, then that time the order by is there as part of this query, so sorting will be happening. So if you are going to use like that, then don't use this order by class. Please make sure that whether is really required order by class or not. If really don't require, then don't include that one. So now if you query the data, what I am going to do now, here while retrieving the data, you no need to provide the order by class. So here order by class is there as the dname. Now I want to my own order by class, then you can use the order by class. Okay, by here what is that, location wise Newark is there, accounting 10. So if you use this one, see 30 is there, first Chicago is their location, like that you can. Next we will see the view definitions are not dynamic. So what I am going to do, I am going to drop one column from the department table here. So alter table name, drop column LOC location. So let me drop this. Okay, so statement executed successfully. Now select star from dept underscore view. Here SQL compilation error, error line 2 at position 25, invalid identifier LOC, because LOC is not there dept table. That's why we got this compilation error, invalid location LOC. So to overcome this issue, what we have to do? You just recompile again after removing the column location. So this is the, if you want to get the syntax from the, you can use that one. Now you create the view without location column. So view has created. Now your view only have two columns. Okay, department number and name. This is the way how we are going to say that view definitions are not dynamic. Apart from that, we'll see if a source table for a view is dropped. Okay, querying the view returns an object does not exist error. So let me drop the table now. Drop table name DEPT. Table has been DEPT successfully dropped. Select star from DEPT. Now I am going to retrieve the data from the view. This time we are going to get the SQL compilation error, failure during expansion of view, department underscore view, SQL compilation error, object DEPT demo underscore db dot public dot dept does not exist or not authorized. Here does not exist only because we wantedly remove the table. Now what I am going to do, a schema cannot contain a table and view with the same name. Okay, a create view statement produces an error if the table with the same name already exists. Okay, for that what I am going to do, see, this is the, I am not going to take the backup. Let me remove this one. Create or replace view. View name is the DEPT as select star from DEPT. Just now I dropped the DEP, so that what I am going to do, let me create the department table again. We have a syntax here to create a, this is the, and let me insert the data also. Number of rows inserted 4. Okay, now let me, so I am going to create a view with the same name as table. So table already exists in this. So SQL compilation error, object DEPT already exists as a table. So we have tried to create a view name as a DEPT. This DEPT already exists with as a table name. So that's why we got the error and we cannot create the same object name, okay, inside the same schema, inside the schema. Now what I am going to do, when you create a view and then grant the privileges on that view to a role, the role can view the view even if the role doesn't have privilege on underlying tables. So for that what I am going to do, anyhow I am using the account admin on the role. So this one no need to execute, you can also execute. Now I am going to create a custom role. To create a custom role, you have to use the at least user admin and above. So here I am using the account admin, which is a highest level. So create or replace role. Please note that arg and one more new role is there, arg admin. So that is different. So create or replace role name demo underscore views. I am creating the view as the demo underscore view. Okay. So role demo underscore view successfully created. The moment when you create any view to access, to give the access to any database to this role, you have to give the usage privilege. Okay, so I am going to give the usage privilege on public schema demo db.public schema. You have to, this is the one time activity you have to perform, and then now I am going to give the select privilege on the view dept underscore view to role demo underscore views. So let me see whether we have a view or not. Yeah, we have a, no, because we have dropped the view. Let me see. Yeah, so dept view is there. Okay, now grant usage on this one, grant select on view dept underscore vw to role demo underscore views. This is the role. Okay, Statement executed successfully. So this role has to assign to any user. So currently I am logged in as a Chris94, so I'm going to use that same user. So no need to log in again. So grant role, any role has to assign to users in Snowflake. Okay, so you can assign more than one role to same user, or you can assign one role to multiple users also. So yeah, statement executed successfully. Now I'm going to switch to custom role, use role demo underscore views. Okay, now what I'm going to do, let me execute the query the data from department view. Okay, dept underscore view. Yeah, I'm able to access the, because see, department name, department number and name only. Okay, two columns, we didn't create the with three columns because we dropped the another column, correct, from that view. So recreated after dropping the location from the department table, we recreated the view with two columns only. That's why we are in the two columns. Now let me try to retrieve the data from department table with the using the role custom role. See, this case SQL compilation error, object demo underscore db public.db does not exist or not authorized, because we haven't given select privileges to demo underscore views. Now what I am going to do, by design, show views command does not provide information about secure views. Okay, so for that what I am going to do, let me create a secure view and then we'll see. So to create a secure view, I am going to use the account admin, because my database owner is the account admin. So let me give the grant access to, already I think, sorry, I already created a department underscore sv, so that just we are going to give the select privilege to new role. So here, statement executed successfully. Now I am going to use the role. Now we'll see the show views like DEPT. So we are using the demo views role. With that, we have given two, I mean, access to on view and secure view. Now if you see, name is the starting with the okay, DEPT only. That's why I'm just using the show views like two. Now this case, we can see two rows, department SV and V. But if you see here, text, okay, text is for secure view is secure true. For this one, the definition we cannot see. And for normal view, even though he is not the owner, how can you say he is not the owner? If you see name and database, owner is the account admin. Okay, owner of these two views, account admin, and given access to this guy. Okay, so we cannot see that one. So that is the show command. Okay, now we will see the copy grants, which is one of the important thing in real time also. So grants on view. Now with that, I am just showing the how many view grants are there. Okay, with the current role, if you see here, ownership role is there, account admin, and select privilege is there. Select privilege is given to demo underscore views. Okay, this is the existing current situation. Now what I am going to do, let me switch to this one, account admin. Now here also, if you see, two rows are there, we can see that two same. Okay, now what I am going to do, here we are. Yeah, so we can see. Now what I am going to do, I am going to show grants. Yeah, I am going to recreate the view again. So it's create or replace view. No, not recreate. Yeah, I'm going to recreate the view. Let me use the here without copy grants option. create or replace view dbt underscore view as select star from dbt. So let me create. Okay. So now if you see the show grants, okay, what is going to happen? See, only this time you got the one row, ownership role only. Okay, now what I'm going to do, let me create or replace view department underscore u along with the copy. So now what I'm going to do, again, if you give the grant to this role, then I already showed you that one, correct? Now what I'm going to do, let me create, okay, view with the copy grants option. Okay, before giving the copy grants option, now what I'm going to do here, let me switch to use role. What is the role name? You know, earlier we had two rows, and then we have recreated just now, and we didn't give any rows, any grants. So let me see the show grants on dbt view. This time view dbt underscore vw does not exist or not authorized, because when you recreate the view without specifying the copy grants, whatever that roles have given to, privileges have given to that role, those are been revoked. Okay, not retained. So to retain that one, what you have to use, that you have to use the grants, copy grants. So what I'm going to do, that one, now again let me give the grant access to, select grant access to this role. For that matter, what I'm going to do, now I have to again switch use role, because he is the owner of this view. Okay, yeah, now I'm giving to the grant privilege. Okay, and then create or replace view. Now I'm going to create or replace view dbt underscore vw with copy grants. Now we'll see what is going to happen. Yeah. Okay, view created, so grants on view. See, two rows are there. One is the ownership, another one the select privilege, which has been given to demo underscore views role. Now if you switch to this role, and if you can access, or you can show grants, and this time we don't get error. We will see these two roles. Okay, and you can access data also. Okay, why we will use this copy grants option? For example, today you have created a view, and you promoted that view into the higher environment, and you have given the necessary grants. And in tomorrow you are going to do some change. I mean, there is some change, and you need to add those changes to that view. And if you forget to give the grants along with that, then we were having earlier, those will not able to access. So to avoid this one, if you use the copy grants, it will retain the whatever that previous privileges, it will retain while recreating the view along with copy grants. Now we'll see the Snowflake accept the force keyword but doesn't support it. So for that, what I'm going to do, let me drop the view if exist already. This is the new view. So if exist, okay, create force view, I am going to use the dbt table only, but here I am using the f. That means by using the force, you can create a view without any problem. View dbt underscore fvw successfully created. This is expected. Now you can see the data also from this view. Now what I am going to do, I am going to use the department number 10 table, which is not present. Okay, dbt table dbt 10 doesn't exist. So by using the force keyword, I am going to create another view by using this table, okay, which is not present, but I am using the force keyword. We'll see what will happen. here. See, we got the error, SQL compilation error, object DB10 doesn't exist or not authorized. In other databases like Oracle, we don't get error during the execution of this view will get create. However, when you try to access from the Oracle from this view, you will get the error. View has error like that. So in Snowflake, while creating itself, we got that error. Okay, there is no meaning to execute the select star from, because while creation itself we got the error. That is about force, how we are going to, why this force keyword is available in Snowflake. This is a compatibility. Suppose if you are going to migrate from Oracle to Snowflake and you have 100 views which are having the force keyword, then you no need to remove the force keyword to compile those views in the Snowflake. If that force view not support, then you have to remove that force keyword before compiling into Snowflake. So to avoid that problem, the force keyword is available in Snowflake. Now we will see no DML operations on views. In other database like in Oracle, we can perform DML operations on view also, but there are some conditions are there, but we can perform DML operations. In Snowflake, we cannot perform any DML operations on view. Okay, let me this view created only one table. We didn't use even joins also, correct? Now let me try to run the delete statement without any filter condition. So we got the error, SQL compilation error, delete statement target must be a table. Okay, delete statements target must be a table only. You cannot pass any other than that. Okay, here we use the view. Now let me use the where condition also, same only, just for sake. Okay, now I am going to use the update statement. So I am going to perform the update statement on here. I am updating the department number, this one, SQL compilation error, update statements target must be a table only here also. Now let me insert the few rows into this one. Here I am using only 2 columns because the location is not null. We didn't create any column with not null, so that we can use the any number of columns while inserting data. So this view, so let me try to insert the data. See, SQL compilation error, insert statements target must be a table. So we cannot perform any DML operations on views in Snowflake. Yeah, that's all from this video. Thank you for watching my video. This video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, click bell icon for more notifications, like it and share it to your friends. Thank you once again.